Recently, a lot of games just haven't felt the same. I often have heard people on YouTube making videos saying, gaming is dying, or gaming is going in a direction that isn't really that good. I'm not saying that I disagree even, I feel the same way. There are so many microtransactions, games released in an absolute state of disarray, and other massive disappointments, it's hard to look at the pile of crap that is the gaming industry with even the rosiest colored glasses. Games like Pokémon Scarlet and Violet and Sonic Frontiers would have never been released in the state that they were in back in the day. Not to mention a lot of franchises are making the choice to go free to play to get into that oh so sweet nectar of microtransactions, and making their games have 100 times the levels of poop in their pants than they had previously. Many players, myself included, have found themselves just going back to the games which have comforted them throughout the years, such as Overwatch 2 or World of Warcraft, because we're just tired of sifting through the sewage. So this is where I come in to give you a bit of unexpected advice. You know that game you've been playing to comfort yourself on the fact that your favorite hobby is merging to the dark side of the capitalism landscape? Delete that shit. What? What the fuck? Recently, I've been feeling the burn of this a lot. I'd sit down to play games and I'd compare and contrast what I could play. How much fun I might have, how it might make me mad, on and on down to the most minute details. I'd almost always default to my comfort game and open up the training ring in Dragon Ball FighterZ. As I've discussed before, Dragon Ball FighterZ quickly rose from the first fighting game I ever played and tried to learn to one of my favorite games of all time. I've put countless hours into trying to hone my craft, learn a new TOD, or otherwise improve my game. I've learned every character on the roster down to Captain fucking Ginyu.
Ginyu boss rules, Ginyu boss rules, Ginyu boss rules, Ginyu boss rules.
It inspired me to watch Dragon Ball for the first time, which inspired me to watch One Piece for the first time, and also showed me that even if something seems hard, I can do it with enough work. I say this to show that overall, the game has been a net positive in my life and opened me up to a lot of the things I would have never tried before. One day though, I started to feel myself stagnate a little bit. I started realizing the lack of new games that I felt a need or want to try and play. Sure, I could fork over $25 for that spicy new game that's on sale, or I could just open up my good old DBFZ for free and have some semblance of fun. I felt like I'd already seen everything before. It felt like all the new must-play games were simply small improvements on the aspects of the kids that I loved.
Police, I have a criminal!
It felt like the new must-play games were simply small improvements on the aspects that made a lot of the games I played when I was a kid great. Now, I'd just like to say I love both these games, but think of Skyrim and Breath of the Wild. Two very different games, but at their core kind of similar. A fantasy RPG with open world exploration. I struggled with myself on how to regain my dying passion for months. I would wake up and try to figure out why I couldn't have fun with most of the games that I own, and eventually get up and just watch TV while in training mode again. Then one day, it just hit me. The answer had been right under my nose this whole time. How could I go out into the great world of gaming and see everything it has to offer when I already had a cozy cabin to stay in and take care of in DBFZ? As anyone who owns a home or is renting one knows, as much as you may want to get up and go on some great adventure, you can't just get up and leave your house unattended. There are things to clean and repair and bills to pay, and if you leave these things unattended, your house will be in shambles, or maybe not even yours anymore. So if you really want to go on an adventure that isn't a 1-week planned vacation, what do you need to do? Sell your home. In this way, DBFZ was kind of like my home. I couldn't go out and venture into new games, as if I left my home alone for too long, it would get dusty and I would get rusty. So I had to come back every few days to clean things up and make sure everything was working properly. Kind of like chores. And anyone who has done those can tell you how fun and engaging they are. So after a couple of days of thinking, I made a tough decision, and I deleted the game. It wasn't out of rage, as I hadn't played online in some time and I was just sitting in training, but I just sat there and said, fuck it. And honestly, when I did it, I felt kind of sad, almost like an era had ended. That was 1 month ago today. I'm sad to say that decision was the best choice I've ever made. While for a few days I found myself struggling to fill the hole in my gamer heart of hearts, I almost immediately saw the fruits of my theory. I picked up games that had been in my library for forever and I'd just never played, like Persona 5 or Crash Bandicoot. And without the comfy option of a home to return to when times got tough, I found myself embracing the challenges these experiences threw at me and accepting the failures when they happened. And I was having fun while doing it. I found myself trying new genres I had never even considered just because they were on a good sale, and I didn't really feel like I'd wasted my time if it wasn't everything I thought it'd be after. Sure, a part of me still enjoys DBFZ, and I even still watch my favorite DBFZ content creators from time to time, but by not playing it or having it as an option to play, I've expanded my love for a passion which I thought was dying a few months ago to new extents. I know there are some people who feel the same way as I did out there. Got your home to return to and worry about at all times, and it's completely destroying your chances of appreciating the rest of the world. So I'm here to tell you, sell that house! You've been waiting for a sign, and this is it. It's time to delete the game that has had you chained for so long, and then go out there and see the rest of the world and what it has to offer. I'll leave you with a quote. Dennis Waitley once said, "There is only one big risk you should avoid at all costs, and that is the risk of doing nothing." Now go and take a risk today. With all that out of the way, I've got to go die about 100 more times while trying to beat Stormy Peak again. So I'll have to catch all of y'all later. This is it. 4, 5. Oh! Ah! Oh! I'm done. I did it. Oh, Stormy. Oh, Stormy, baby. Yeah! Fuck you, you stupid fucking level